was 2020?
Woo! Wait, yeah. 2020. 2020 was a year, man. 2020 was a year. Alright, first of all, I just want to thank everyone for voting for me for Krumper of the Year worldwide. I think that's just a crazy, dope honor, especially in the year of 2020, and not just to survive, but to thrive. And it just feels nice to, be recognized for that. And I just want to talk about what really went on this year, because so much happened, and I just want to do this to kind of self-reflect too on this whole year. So let's get it started all the way from January. So what y'all didn't know, in January we were in the Justin Bieber music video. So it was me, Yaya, B-Dash, Concrete, and Blueprint. So we were doing that like right in the beginning of the year. And then in the middle of that, we started the Tuesday private labs.
It's a new way to teach, a new way to explore, a new way to be with people, so be on the lookout.
So you already seen the Tuesday labs on YouTube and Facebook Live and all of that, but we wanted to change it to make it more condensed, make it more, kind of like more focused on the lab instead of just the session and the battles. So I think that's what people really liked, was learning. And yeah, so we were doing that for 2 months straight. It was 3 hours of just straight training. They asked me questions and it was just dope. It was a dope vibe. So while doing that, we're still in January. So while doing that, I went to Florida for my birthday, January 9th, holla. I went to Florida for Thesis. Shout out to the Floridians for an amazing event. And then the battles, of course, the battles were always dope to watch. And yeah, so that's just January. Alright, so for February, we were doing the Tuesday labs, and then we also organized a rookie night. So as you guys know, we were doing the top 8 rookies around 2018-19, and then we needed a spot for number 7 and 8. Shout out to Kyle and Oxy that went to the finals, and then we did an exhibition match for the number 1 spot, Street Beast X and Mike Beast. So that was just dope. It was just dope to see, like, what was it, like 50 plus people?
Yeah, I think there was like 60.
Yeah, 60 plus people. So March hits, and this is where it starts to get crazier. So we were still prepping for the Beast Camp event, and one of our qualifiers was in the Philippines, and organized by Twin Beast and his fam. Shout out to them. And yeah, I mean, it just got crazy from there. I remember waking up and Miho, the day before I was supposed to leave to the Philippines, Miho was blowing up my phone, and I just didn't answer because it was like early in the morning. So I finally called him back, and yeah, he was just like, "Hey, have you talked to Ches?" And I was like, "No, why? What's going on?" And he was like, "Yeah, like Enforcer's dead." And like that sentence, I couldn't believe it, because you just didn't expect it, you know? Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know what to say, to be honest. And I just started to call my friends. I called Ruin, because me and Ruin were supposed to go to the Philippines together. And I said, I don't know what to do, man. So Miho was just like, hey, let's drive to Vegas. Let's all meet up. drive to Vegas. So I think it was me, Miho, Concrete, Bino, and Jeremiah that went to Vegas that same night. And yeah, we went and we did like a little funeral service, or just a little thing where we got candles and stuff, and we put it out at ER's door, and it was heavy, man. Yeah, it was heavy. And yeah, it was just a heavy thing to think about, especially with like ER. Like he really was a big impact, and he was like a big mentor to me.
You ain't even gotta be on no dance, you ain't gotta be on none of that. Like, we could just chill. Like, you are a person that I actually care for. I do like you, so we could do something other than something that revolves around dancing.
Like, he was the person that told Todd Eyes to make me under him. I remember we were at my house doing like a Street Kingdom lab, and Enforcer looked at me like, man, he's like, Ches, let me call you. Like, Ches, come over here, man. They talked for a couple minutes, and it was Todd Eyes, B-Dash, and Enforcer. They're like, come over here, man. So Enforcer was like, yeah, you've been doing this thing by yourself for a while. I think you should have a big homie. So B-Dash or Todd Eyes. And they were like, I was like, well, I'm gonna go for Todd Eyes. So that's how I became Baby Maverick. And ever since then, man, like ER just always like, he just always supported, and it was just crazy being at the house, and everyone kind of had similar stories. Like with Concrete, he said the same thing about Concrete. He's like, Todd Eyes, man, that's the new J Todd Eyes. Like, I'm telling you. He's like, he always says this. I'm telling you, man. I'm just saying. And everything that he called was not just like a good decision, but it was like too on point that that I was supposed to be under Ches, Concrete, and whatever he called us, like he saw it, And even like my last few interactions with him was for the Beast Camp event last year. And I got a random call. It was the Tuesday of the event, and I got a random call. Like, hey man, so there's a session tonight. I said, who's this? He said, Zarius, fool. I said, oh. I was like, nah, I'm teaching, and then there's a session. He said, okay, I'm gonna take your class then. He's like, here's the address, pick me up. I said, nah, bro. So I was with the New Zealand homies, and then I picked up Enforcer, and he took class. He was in the back taking my class, and then he would come up to me like, hey man, maybe you should teach it this way, this way, this way. I was like, ER, you teach. This is weird, man. And he said, no, I'm just saying, And then he was just in the back like, damn. Yeah, I miss him, man. And
man, listen, having one of them days kind of emotional, but if you got somebody you love, tell them you love them. Better yet, show them you love them. If you got somebody you care about, be there for them. Life is extremely, extremely short, and you don't get no do-overs. You don't get time back. So people that matters to you, show them that they matter to you, because when they gone, they gone.
Cause it's bang for 50. 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 Cause it's bang for 50.
I think it was just such a crazy combination of him passing away, and then the next day we had to go to the Philippines, and this was when the coronavirus started to pop up. So we were scared to fly, you know what I'm saying? We were scared to even have a layover in Taiwan, which is like so close to China. So I was scared. I had a little scare about like, you know, death, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just felt like I was facing death. But I think that was such a turning point because when I was facing death, I had to ask myself, like, if I really died on this trip or in the next 2 weeks because of this dang virus, like, what would people say about me? Like, in my funeral service or whatever. And I had to be real with myself. I knew that I was going through a lot, you know, young Beast passing away, you know what I mean, family drama, all of that. And I wasn't the best version of myself. So I think from then on, when I asked myself that question, my answer was like, well, I don't think like what people are gonna say about you that's closest to you is gonna be that good, or like, you know. And it was such a hard thing that I had to tell myself. So I said, okay, let me fix it. Let me fix myself to the best possible way, because I started to realize I was really resentful, I was really bitter, prideful and all of that. And it was just crazy to have even be able to read a book by Jordan Peterson. So he was one of the main authors that I really looked up to this year, was Jordan Peterson. And just reading his book, and the timing of reading his book, and the timing of ER's death and the coronavirus, and me having that self-realization of like, death is so near, and I needed to fix myself and have so much internal work, I think was just a crazy combination. Okay.
Is what you most want to be found will be found where you least want to look, essentially. And it's so interesting because it means that if you're willing to turn around and to stand up, say, and stand up straight and face the darkness like fully, what you discover at the darkest part is the brightest light. And that's something that's so much worth discovering, because there's going to be terrible darkness in your life, and it's going to make you cynical and bitter. And it could easily be that you're just not looking at it enough, because if you looked at it enough and you didn't shy away and you brought everything you had to bear on it, you'd find that there was more to you than there was to the horror.